The Oracle of Omaha. In 2025, still going strong at 94. At 94 years old, Warren Buffett is living proof that age doesn't slow down wisdom. In 2025, the Oracle of Omaha is still doing what he's done best for more than half a century: reading, investing, thinking long-term, and staying unbelievably grounded. While most people would be enjoying quiet retirement by now, Buffett is still showing up to the office, still chairing Berkshire Hathaway, and still schooling Wall Street with nothing but logic, patience, and a cherry Coke in hand. So what does a typical day look like for Warren Buffett in 2025? Believe it or not much has changed in decades. He still lives in the same modest home in Omaha, bought in 1958 for just $31,500. No private chefs, no staff of assistants, no sprawling estates in Malibu. Instead, Warren gets up early, reads newspapers, yes, physical newspapers, and heads to the office with the same low-key enthusiasm that built his empire. He starts his day the Buffett way: a trip to McDonald's for breakfast, often ordering the same sausage McMuffin and Coca-Cola he's enjoyed for years. If the market's up, maybe he splurges on bacon. This isn't a joke. Buffett once revealed he decides which combo meal to buy based on how the market's doing that morning. By 8 a.m., he's at the Berkshire Hathaway office, a plain building in Omaha that feels more like an accountant's office than the headquarters of one of the most powerful conglomerates on earth. His desk? No laptop, no Bloomberg terminal. Just paper reports, printed balance sheets, and a rotary phone that's probably older than some of the investors trying to follow his every move. And what does he do all day? He reads. A lot. Over 80% of Buffett's time is still spent reading. Annual reports, earnings statements, books, business magazines. As he said countless times, the best investment you can make is in yourself. And for Warren, reading is how he continues investing in his own mind. He also meets regularly with the Berkshire team, including his longtime friend and vice chairman Charlie Munger. Although Munger, at 101, has scaled back his involvement in recent years. Buffett also leans more on the next generation of Berkshire leadership: Greg Abel and Ajit Jain, both of whom he's praised as outstanding managers and part of his well-established succession plan. Despite his age, Warren's wit is as sharp as ever. In interviews, shareholder meetings, and the legendary annual Berkshire Hathaway event, often called Woodstock for capitalists, he still draws laughs, drops pearls of wisdom, and fields questions for hours on end with zero notes. It's a performance that fans travel thousands of miles to witness. So how does he keep going? Warren credits his longevity to loving what he does. He's often said he tap dances to work every morning, and in 2025, that still holds true. There's a deep joy he gets from analyzing businesses, understanding people, and watching the world unfold through the lens of a long-term investor. And of course, there's the Coca-Cola. But we'll get to that in the next chapter. Studio microphone, voiceover ends, B-roll visuals, slow pan of Buffett's Omaha home, a McDonald's drive-thru, Buffett flipping through a newspaper, walking into Berkshire HQ with a Coca-Cola in hand. Laughter from a shareholder meeting echoes faintly. Pushpin on-screen text: I'm 94, and I still get excited every morning to do what I love. Warren Buffett, 2025, Chapter 2, The Coca-Cola Ritual. Simplicity, sugar, and a signature habit. If there's one thing almost everyone knows about Warren Buffett, it's this: the man loves Coca-Cola. Not just as an investor, but as a full-blown, daily ritualist. In 2025, at the age of 94, that cherry Coke can is still right there on his desk, chilled, familiar, and part of a routine that's lasted longer than many hedge funds. To Buffett, Coca-Cola isn't just a drink. It's a symbol of consistency, comfort, and, well, sugar. Lots of sugar. He said in interviews that he drinks about 5 cans of Coke a day, usually 3 during work hours and 2 in the evening. And while nutritionists everywhere may cringe, Buffett has a response ready. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I'm 94 and still feeling great. He famously told Fortune magazine that 25% of his daily calories come from Coca-Cola. That's not a joke. His go-to is cherry Coke, though he's also partial to the original. And he doesn't shy away from junk food either: McDonald's for breakfast, See's candies for snacks, and potato sticks in between. It's a diet that sounds more like that of a teenager than one of the richest men alive. But here's the thing: for Warren, this isn't some quirky rebellion. It's intentional simplicity. He doesn't drink kale smoothies or chase health trends because he sees no reason to fix what isn't broken. Coca-Cola represents more than taste. It's predictable, affordable, and available everywhere. That's what he loves in business too. In fact, Buffett's relationship with Coca-Cola runs much deeper than daily habits. His company, Berkshire Hathaway, owns over 9% of the Coca-Cola company, making it one of his longest and most iconic investments. The initial purchase began in 1988, when he bought over $1 billion worth of Coca-Cola shares, a move that has since returned more than 10 times its value. Buffett often uses Coke as a case study in long-term investing. It's a business with strong global brand recognition, high margins, and stable demand, qualities he looks for in every company he invests in. And it doesn't hurt that he genuinely enjoys the product. As he puts it, "I'm 1/4 Coca-Cola." Buffett has even joked that Coca-Cola is part of his anti-aging strategy, and you might almost believe him. At 94, he's still spry, sharp, and sipping the same drink he always has. While others chase the next big thing, Warren remains loyal to the classics, whether it's a blue-chip stock or a bottle of fizzy cola. And the Coca-Cola branding? It's woven into his lifestyle. At shareholder meetings, coolers are stocked with Coke. Cherry Coke cans with his face printed on them were once handed out. It's become part of the Buffett mythos, a blend of folksy charm and high finance. His diet has become legendary among fans and followers. And while no doctor is recommending Buffett's menu anytime soon, there's something undeniably authentic about it. In a world where billionaires surround themselves with extravagance, Warren Buffett sticks with a $1 soda and a smile. Studio microphone, voiceover ends B-roll visuals, a cherry Coke can on Buffett's desk, him sipping Coke at a shareholder meeting. Coke stock rising on a chart, Coca-Cola vending machine in Omaha. McDonald's drive-thru. Push-pin on-screen text, "I drink at least 5 Cokes a day and I feel terrific." Warren Buffett Chapter 3. Inside the investment brain, Buffett's new stock picks in 2025. Even at 94, Warren Buffett's investment mind is as sharp as ever. And in 2025, he's still surprising markets with the stocks he buys, and the ones he quietly lets go. With Berkshire Hathaway managing a portfolio worth over $350 billion, every move Buffett makes or approves sends ripples through Wall Street. But don't expect hype or speculation from the Oracle of Omaha. His game is still the same. Buy great businesses, hold them forever, or close to it. So what's new inside Buffett's brain in 2025? Let's start with a few recent additions to the Berkshire portfolio, names that might raise some eyebrows. First up, NVIDIA. Yes, that NVIDIA, the AI and graphics chip giant. While Buffett was traditionally slow to adopt tech, recent filings showed Berkshire quietly taking a modest position. Not for the buzz, but for the long-term value in AI infrastructure. It's a small bet, but a clear sign the old guard is warming up to new age megatrends. Carefully, of course. Another interesting move? A larger stake in Occidental Petroleum. Buffett has long praised the energy sector when prices are right and fundamentals are strong. In 2025, Berkshire's position in Occidental has grown significantly, now exceeding 25% ownership. Why? Buffett sees value in reliable cash flow, especially as the world transitions slowly but surely to mixed energy sources. He's also doubled down on what he calls forever companies. These include big names like Apple, still Berkshire's largest equity holding by far, along with Coca-Cola, American Express, and Kraft Heinz. These aren't just brands, they're moats. Companies with wide competitive advantages, global recognition, and products that people use every single day. But here's what makes Buffett's investing brain so unique in 2025. It's not about making the hottest pick. It's about understanding the business, believing in the leadership, and having unshakable patience. While others buy and sell weekly, Buffett might hold a stock for 30 years or longer. He once said, "Our favorite holding period is forever," and in today's high-speed market, that still sets him apart. And yes, he's sold a few names too. Recently, Berkshire has been trimming or exiting positions in some of the bank sector, especially regional lenders that have struggled post-2023 economic shifts. Though Buffett has long been a fan of banking, he's not sentimental. If the fundamentals break, he moves on. Now keep in mind, not all of Berkshire's investments are directly made by Buffett himself. His trusted lieutenants, Todd Combs and Ted Weschler, now manage a significant portion of the portfolio. But Buffett's fingerprints are still all over the big picture decisions. When Berkshire buys $10 billion of a company, you can bet Buffett had the final words. So what's the takeaway? In 2025, Warren Buffett is still teaching the world what investing is supposed to look like. Calm, focused, and deeply rational. His new moves show he's willing to adapt to the times without ever abandoning his core beliefs. He's still looking for companies with durable advantages, strong cash flow, and leadership he trusts. Studio microphone, voiceover ends B-roll visuals. Stock ticker scrolling, Apple and Coca-Cola signage. Berkshire's annual shareholder meeting. Buffett holding an annual report. Slow pan of NVIDIA and Occidental logos. Pushpin on-screen text. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Warren Buffett Chapter 4, Legendary Wealth. How much is Warren Buffett really worth in 2025? In 2025, Warren Buffett's wealth is not just impressive, it's legendary. At age 94, the Oracle of Omaha remains one of the richest individuals on earth, and yet he continues to live like a man of much humbler means. So just how much is Warren Buffett worth today? And more importantly, how has he chosen to use that wealth? Let's break it down. As of this year, Warren Buffett's net worth is estimated at approximately $118 billion, according to the latest billionaire rankings. That places him firmly in the top tier globally, alongside the likes of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bernard Arnault. But here's the twist. Buffett could be worth twice as much, or more, had he not been giving so much of it away. That's right. Warren Buffett is not just a legendary investor, he's also one of the world's most committed philanthropists. Since 2006, he has donated more than $50 billion to charitable causes, mostly through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and other foundations led by his children. And he's not done yet. Buffett has pledged to give away 99% of his fortune during or after his lifetime. A promise he's been steadily fulfilling. But even after all that giving, his fortune keeps growing. Why? One word: Berkshire. Buffett still owns around 15% of Berkshire Hathaway, the massive holding company he built from a struggling textile mill into a $750+ billion juggernaut. Berkshire owns or has major stakes in iconic American companies like Apple, Coca-Cola, BNSF Railway, Geico, American Express, and dozens more. Unlike tech founders whose wealth is often tied up in volatile valuations, Buffett's fortune is grounded in cash-flowing businesses. These companies pay dividends, they generate profits, and they do it year after year, decade after decade. That's why even as Buffett donates billions, his net worth continues to climb. But here's what truly sets Buffett apart: his complete disinterest in luxury. Despite his wealth, he still lives in the same Omaha house he bought in 1958. He doesn't fly private unless absolutely necessary, doesn't collect yachts, and wears the same kind of basic suits he always has. His idea of indulgence: a cherry Coke, a good book, and maybe a burger from Dairy Queen. Which, by the way, is a Berkshire company. In fact, Buffett once joked that he spends less money each day than some people spend at Starbucks. He prefers simplicity, not as a PR move, but as a personal preference. As he's often said, if you're lucky enough to be rich, you should use that wealth to help others, not to impress them. Still, he's not shy about money when it comes to teaching others how to use it wisely. His annual letters to shareholders are must-reads in the business world, and his advice to young people remains consistent. Avoid debt, invest for the long term, and live below your means. So yes, Warren Buffett is a billionaire, many times over. But in his eyes, his true wealth is measured in wisdom, freedom, and impact. He sees money not as a status symbol, but as a tool for doing good. Studio microphone, voiceover ends, B-roll visuals. Berkshire Hathaway stock charts, newspaper headlines of Buffett's donations, aerial view of his modest home, clips from past interviews, smiling crowds at a shareholder meeting. Pushpin on-screen text: if you're in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. Warren Buffett Chapter 5, Living Modestly, Giving Generously, Buffett's Homes, habits and humility in an era where billionaires race to build mega mansions, collect rare jets, and chase luxury for the sake of image. Warren Buffett stands as a striking exception. Despite his immense wealth, Buffett continues to live a life defined not by extravagance, but by modesty, routine, and generosity. In 2025, the world's most down-to-earth billionaire still makes headlines. Not for what he buys, but for what he doesn't. Let's start with where he lives. Warren Buffett's home in Omaha, Nebraska, has become nearly as famous as the man himself. Purchased in 1958 for just $31,500, this 5-bedroom house remains his primary residence today, over 6 decades later. While it's been modestly renovated, there are no grand gates, no ocean views, and no marble floors. It's a comfortable, unpretentious home in a quiet neighborhood. Buffett has repeatedly said he has no interest in moving. "I'd move if I thought I'd be happier somewhere else," he once said. "But I'm perfectly happy here." That sentiment sums up much of Buffett's life. If it works and brings you joy, why change it? His personal habits mirror the same philosophy. He drives a modest car, often a Cadillac or similar sedan, not a Rolls-Royce or supercar. He prefers burgers, steaks, and McDonald's breakfasts over fine dining. For years, he stopped at the same McDonald's drive-thru on the way to the office, deciding which combo to order based on how the market is performing that morning. And yes, he still drinks 5 cans of Coca-Cola a day, often starting before lunch. But don't let the simplicity fool you. Buffett's discipline and mental sharpness are anything but average. He avoids unnecessary noise in life. No social media, no luxury distractions. Instead, he reads for hours each day, thinks carefully, and focuses on long-term impact. That impact shows most clearly in his philanthropy. Since 2006, Buffett has donated tens of billions of dollars to charitable causes, primarily through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the charitable foundations of his children, Howard, Susan, and Peter. His goal? To give away 99% of his fortune, either during his lifetime or through his estate. He doesn't believe in dynastic wealth. In fact, he's been clear that his children will not inherit the bulk of his fortune. Instead, he's giving them opportunity, values, and the freedom to forge their own paths backed by a strong ethical compass. Buffett is also the co-founder of the Giving Pledge, a campaign encouraging the world's wealthiest individuals to commit the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. Alongside Bill Gates, he launched the initiative in 2010, and by 2025, over 240 billionaires worldwide have joined. Despite his enormous influence, Buffett remains deeply humble. He jokes about his quirks, embraces his image as the Coca-Cola drinking grandpa of capitalism, and constantly credits his success to luck, mentors, and timing. "I won the ovarian lottery," he says, referring to being born in the right place and time with the right opportunities. He avoids personal fanfare. No sprawling security team. No Instagram. No personal yacht. Instead, he walks through Omaha like any other citizen, cheerful, approachable, and with zero signs of celebrity ego. A studio microphone, voiceover ends, B-roll visuals, aerial view of Buffett's Omaha home, shots of him in casual clothes walking to work, footage from charity events, Giving Pledge graphics, and clips of him sharing a laugh over lunch with friends. Pushpin on-screen text. You don't need to own a yacht to feel rich. You need to be surrounded by people you love, doing what you enjoy. Warren Buffett Chapter 6, Buffett's Legacy, What Comes After the Oracle. As Warren Buffett approaches the century mark, one question lingers over Wall Street and the wider world. What happens after the Oracle of Omaha? In 2025, Warren Buffett remains the heart and soul of Berkshire Hathaway, the wise steward of trillions in assets and the moral compass of value investing. But even he knows, and says often, that no one lives forever. So what does Buffett's legacy really look like? It starts, of course, with Berkshire Hathaway, the conglomerate he built from a struggling textile company into one of the most powerful and admired corporations on earth. With holdings in everything from insurance and railroads to tech and fast food, Berkshire is more than just a business. It's a philosophy made profitable. But unlike many founders, Buffett has spent years preparing for succession, not only in operations but in culture. His guiding belief: the company must continue to thrive without him, not because of him. In 2021, Buffett named Greg Abel as his official successor. As of 2025, Abel serves as vice chairman and heir apparent, overseeing all non-insurance operations. Known for his discipline, low ego, and Buffett-like temperament, Abel has been quietly running key parts of the company for years. Alongside Ajit Jain, who manages Berkshire's massive insurance operations, the future leadership structure is clearly defined. Not flashy, not uncertain, but deliberate. And Buffett's investment legacy? It lives on in the principles he's taught an entire generation. Pushpin buy great businesses, pushpin understand what you own, pushpin be patient, pushpin and never bet against America. His approach, now known globally as value investing, wasn't just a financial strategy, it was a mindset. In a world driven by short-term thinking, Buffett reminded people to zoom out, think clearly, and ignore the noise. For over 60 years, he did just that, and he showed others how to do it too. Then there's his philanthropic legacy, a multi-decade journey of giving that will continue long after he's gone. Through the Giving Pledge, Buffett has inspired hundreds of the world's wealthiest people to dedicate the majority of their wealth to causes that matter. His donations to the Gates Foundation and other nonprofits will support global health, education, and poverty alleviation for generations. Yet, when asked how he wants to be remembered, Buffett rarely talks about billions or Berkshire. Instead, he keeps it personal. He once said, "I want people to say that I was a teacher, that I helped them think better." And perhaps that's the most powerful part of Warren Buffett's legacy. Not the stocks he bought, not the empire he built, but the common sense he shared with millions about money, life, and character. He taught people that you don't need a Harvard degree to be wealthy, that you don't need to be flashy to be successful, that you don't need to chase fads to build something great. And most of all, that success without integrity is failure. Even now, in 2025, Buffett still attends shareholder meetings, writes annual letters, and answers questions with humility and humor. He's passing the torch, but he's doing it his way. Slowly, wisely, and with the same thoughtfulness that has defined every decision he's made. Studio microphone, voiceover ends, B-roll visuals, footage of Buffett mentoring young investors, black and white photos from his early years. Berkshire's annual meetings, Giving Pledge logos, and a closing shot of him walking through Omaha alone. Pushpin on-screen text. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett.